going on, Miss Angel? All right, let's see if we can. I appreciate that. Thank you. What's up? I'm gonna see if I can. Trying to figure out. Hey, I appreciate the power shares, Megan. Thank you. All right, we're good. Yep, go ahead. Stay in the flame. If it is real, then love always wins. I appreciate you guys. If you love me, fight for me, fight for me, fight for me. Show me you love me. Show me you love me. If you love me, stay for me, stay for me. So I'm gonna try to make sure that I'm done by like 3:30, only because my daughter has an appointment, so I gotta make sure I get her to it. Strong, not half a maybe all night long. Bring that courage, bring that care. If I fall down, will you be there? Don't give me words. I appreciate the rose, Leah. Thank you. All right, let's see who we got up in here. Welcome in, everyone. I don't know why the hell I keep forgetting to put my alt in my damn. You know what I might do actually? Hold on. Nah, you know what? Let me not do that. That's not gonna be for everybody. Oh yeah, you didn't see my my story, Nicole. Yeah, Silas is co-hosting with me. Yep. I appreciate y'all for showing up. If you we in here. I appreciate you guys with all the shares. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love you so much. Thank you, Peaches. I appreciate the Go Pops. Thank you for your daily heart, me, Beth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Happy Monday. All right. So again, like I said, I'll give it about 15 minutes. All right. We're gonna give it about 15 minutes, and then whoever's in here, we'll start the podcast. It was good. I enjoyed it. And it wasn't that heavy. It was pretty light. I appreciate all the power shares, Beth. Thank you so much. Yeah, I apologize. I know I was in your live earlier and I had to cut out early. I had gotten a phone call and they kept me on the phone forever. I appreciate that hand heart. Thank you so much, Beth. Yeah, that's fine, Nicole. No worries. Of course, absolutely. I appreciate that. It's my pleasure, man. You know, I always enjoy going in and supporting you guys. Also, for everyone who wasn't in here earlier this morning when I went live, if you want to check out the stickers, I made a few more stickers. We also finally have 2 superfan stickers. Our first superfan, Sam, she may not be able to be here today because she had to go set up her classroom for tomorrow. Yeah, she has access to them. She's our first superfan ever in the room, so I'm super excited about that. Angel, was that intentional or no? Okay. Silas should be in here soon, okay? So Silas should be in here soon. I'm just waiting for him to get in here. I appreciate all the Go Pops. Thank you so much. So 2:15, 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes, all right? In 10 minutes, I'll start the podcast. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Beth. Thank you so much for stopping in. Oh, okay. I appreciate you. Thank you. I feel like sometimes it goes faster than other times. There it goes. Yo, that is wild, Angel. That is wild behavior. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. She said, you gave me this power. Sorry, Empress. We ain't I know what you're doing. We ain't battling. Sorry. When I see you, I run out of words to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Cause you're the type of girl to make me stay. That's up to you, Silas. Honestly, that's up to you. Whatever you want to do. Okay, that's fine. I wanna get with you, yeah. I see you in the club, you show me that love. I wanna get with you. Oh shit, that's right, I forgot. Damn it, but he might have left. Like the clouds, you drift me away, far away, yeah. And like the sun, you brighten my day, you brighten my day. Yeah, you're right. I wanna see you cry, cry, cry. And I never wanna tell a lie, lie, lie. Said I never wanna see you cry, cry, cry. And I never wanna tell a lie, 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 yeah. I see you in the club, you getting down, girl. I wanna get with you, yeah. I see you in the club, yeah. Bro. I wanna get with you. Oh, is that why it does that? Welcome in, everybody. I'm just waiting for Oh, hey, Nikki. I'm about to start in a few minutes. I'm just waiting for Silas. I think he went to go start his own live, so. I gotta wait for him to request up. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm hoping he there he goes. What's going on, Silas? I hear that. All right. Is everybody ready? No, I don't want to invite nobody to a 1v1. I don't know what the hell that means. All right. So, oh, yeah, sorry, I forget. Hold on, let me turn it down. All right. Thank you, Angel. See, that's what I got you here for. All right. All right. What's going on, Brandon? I appreciate the Go Pops. Thank you so much, brother. All right. Here we are. So everybody welcome in. I appreciate you guys for joining. Today's episode is called Comfort is Slowly Killing Your Potential. All right. So I'm going to start it off the same way I started it off yesterday. All right. I'm going to start you guys off with a cold opening. All right. What if the thing that's destroying your future isn't failure? What if it isn't bad luck, lack of money, or even lack of talent? What if it isn't, what if the biggest threat to your potential is the very thing you've spent your entire life chasing? Comfort. Think about it. When was the last time comfort made you stronger? When was the last time convenience taught you discipline? When was the last time staying where you were created the person you wanted to become? Here's the controversial question for today. Is convenience the greatest obstacle to greatness? So I want everyone's opinion on what they think of that. Is convenience the greatest obstacle to greatness? Tell me what you guys think. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. Perfect. Okay. So now, right? I'm going to explain why I said that, right? Because somewhere along the way, we stopped asking ourselves whether something was meaningful and started asking ourselves whether it was easy. And maybe that's the reason so many people feel stuck. Just as yesterday, welcome back to the Unchained Truth. So for those who don't know, most do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna repeat a little bit about myself. So my name is T.R.U.T.H. Okay. What I do for a living is I'm a life coach. I do marketing for businesses, and I do digital marketing. All right. I appreciate the love you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the Go Pops. Thank you guys. All right. This is what I do for a living, right? This is the structure that is my life. I also volunteer with people with developmental disabilities. My whole journey, I have tried to find my purpose in life. Okay. And I have found that my purpose in life is to help others. Right. This is what I focus on primarily. Okay. At the end of the day, I'm a businessman. At the end of the day, just like everybody else, I got bills to pay. I have a family, right? I have kids, right? So I do what I can for them, right? But I don't do what I don't do what I do for profit. I do what I do to be able to help other people. Okay. This is my goal in life. All right. So that's just a little bit about me. Next week, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an explanation as to how I grew up. Okay. That'll be how I describe myself a little bit to you guys. This is my co-host, Silas. If you want to just give them a little rundown of who you are. Amen. All right. We're going to get it started. First of all, I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's in here, okay? We have 13 people in here, all right? I appreciate everyone who is showing up and supporting and showing love. It means the world to me, okay? Just real quick, if everyone can share it out to about 3 people, okay? Just to make sure whoever is missing out has a chance to get in here, okay? So if everyone real quick who's in here, all 12 people, if you can just share it out to about 3 people, okay? All right. The truth. All right. Comfort is one of the most dangerous things in the world because it rarely feels dangerous. All right. What the hell just happened? Why did my thing just tweak? Okay, there it goes. Sorry. Comfort is one of the most dangerous things in the world because it rarely feels dangerous. Okay. Hey, Jessica, welcome in. I appreciate you for joining. How's it going? It feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels productive. Okay. You convince yourself that because you're busy, you're making progress. You answer emails, scroll through social media, watch motivational videos, Unchained Truth, right? Hey, welcome in, Chris. How's it going? I appreciate you for joining. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Organize your schedule and tell yourself that tomorrow will be different. I appreciate the hearts. Thank you so much, Jessica. But activity and growth are not the same thing. I appreciate the Corgi. Thank you so much. That means a lot, Chris. Thank you so much. Being comfortable can trick you into believing you're moving forward when in reality you're standing still. Right? Being comfortable. Right? I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Being comfortable can trick you into believing you're moving forward when in reality you're standing still. Okay? The truth is that safe doesn't always mean successful. A ship is safest sitting in the harbor, but ships weren't built to stay in the harbor. People weren't built to live the exact same day over and over again. dreaming about a life they'll never chase. Comfort whispers lies. It says, stay where you are. Wait until you're ready. Don't take the risk. At least you know what to expect. And before you realize it, years have passed. Not because you couldn't grow, but because comfort convinced you that the growth could wait. But can it really? That's the question. So, Silas, do you believe that growth waits for people? Open your heart to the love, food amor. Daci food amor. Absolutely. I appreciate all the stickers. Thank you so much, Jessica. So, for everyone in the chat, I want you to put something in the chat of one thing of one place in your life where you're comfortable. One thing in your life that has made you comfortable. In other words, that feels safe and is preventing you from growth. There is nowhere in your life, Angel, that you feel that you've become comfortable and you've stopped moving forward. Okay. Being a mom. Okay. Absolutely. Right. Okay. But remember, guys, the whole point of this podcast, and I made it clear to everyone, is I am going to make you uncomfortable. That is what I am going to force. So answers like I'm not and answers like nope, that's not true. Right? I live by truth. Right? So I feel like we could always use a big push with anything. No, I understand that. We can always use a big push. Absolutely. I don't disagree. But nowhere in your life are you comfortable and not moving forward. Right? So by us acknowledging that we are comfortable is us acknowledging that we are stuck, right? That's what comfortable is. When you're comfortable, you're stuck, right? At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with admitting that, right? This is absolutely, Rafi. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Amen. Right? There is always room for improvement, right? But for you to say that there is nowhere in your life that you are comfortable, right? This is what I do for a living, right? I help people push themselves forward for a living. This is what I do for a living, right? So at the end of the day, okay, whether it's your career, right? Whether it's where you're living, you wanting more, right? Your family situation, right? Doesn't mean we have to put our business out there, right? But your family situation, right? Your situation with your kids, right? Your situation with finding a way to pursue something that you never thought that you could, right? How do I get started? right? What's the first step? Okay. So if you don't admit to yourself, right? But again, because this is what I do for a living, does that mean that I have the answers? Does that mean that unchained truth knows all? No, that's not what that means. It means that I've put myself in a position in my life, right, to preach on this, because I've come to terms with what I have going on in my life and how to proceed forward. I've come to terms with how to understand how to stop being stuck and start the stride, right? I've been able to put myself in that position, right? Which, by putting myself in that position, allows me to help others do the same. But I will always have room for improvement. I don't care where I am in life. I will always have room for improvement. If you can't admit to yourself that there is always room for improvement, you ain't going anywhere, right? I told people, I'm not doing what I do for motivation. I'm not doing what I do for inspiration. These podcasts are meant to make you feel uncomfortable. And these podcasts are meant to push you in ways that maybe no one else in your life can. For right now. But eventually they will get to that point. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that, Silas. So what we're going to do right now, okay, is this is the part where we break the chains. Okay? Let's talk about convenience. Convenience isn't evil. The problem begins when convenience becomes an addiction. We live in a world where almost everything is instant. And I was just having this conversation with somebody recently. Okay? We live in a world where we would rather have instant gratification than patiently wait for something that's worth waiting for. Right? I want. Right now. Right? So the problem begins when convenience becomes an addiction. We live in a world where almost everything is instant. Food arrives at your door. Entertainment is available in seconds. We can talk to anyone, anywhere, and at any time. And while convenience has improved our lives, it has also weakened our patience. We've become unforgettable with discomfort. Okay? So at the end of the day, if we are uncomfortable with feeling discomfort, then that means we've trained ourselves to avoid struggle instead of embracing it. And the problem is being able to admit that. Too many people's egos get in the way of admitting things in your life. Okay? We have trained ourselves to avoid struggle instead of embracing it. But growth has always charged admission. What? Sorry. Want confidence? You're going to have to face rejection. Want success? You're going to have to risk failure. Want strength? You're going to have to experience weakness. Want change? You're going to have to leave behind the familiar. Nothing valuable comes without sacrifice. 100%. It absolutely sucks. Rejection sucks. 100%. But rejection builds character. Right? So nothing valuable comes without sacrifice. The version of you that you always dreamed of becoming exists on the other side of inconvenience. Right? So ask yourself, what are you avoiding because it's uncomfortable? What dream have you abandoned because the journey looked difficult? What excuse have you repeated so many times that you're mistaken it for reality? Okay, the chains aren't always made of fear. Sometimes they're made of comfort. Okay, so to show that we are not exempt from any of these questions, Silas, what are you avoiding because it's comfortable? It's amazing, right? See, the right people, and I'm a strong believer in this. You guys know that I'm a believer. I have faith. I'm a spiritual person, right? I believe that things happen for a reason, right? And I believe that it was no coincidence that Silas was chosen for this episode, right? Because that answer reminds me of a few people in my personal life. Okay. So relationships are the biggest comfortability. You may not be happy with what you have. You may not be thrilled about what the situation that you're in is. Okay. But then it has us question, will I ever find love again? Can I ever really truly be happy? Will anyone ever actually be there for me? I will never meet anyone in my life who wants to support me and build and create something with me. But wait, who told you that? Oh, being comfortable with the experiences that you've happened to have in your life. You've had these experiences, you're used to them, so they leave you stagnant. Why leave this situation? What's going to change? How will it be any different? Right? The term that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Well, if I ain't got grass over here, anything's greener on the other side. If all I'm sitting on over here is dirt, I'll take the rugged brown grass over there. So Silas, what dream have you abandoned because the journey looked difficult? Amen. So at the end of the day, if you aren't with the person that you started out with, you were with that person for many, many years. You were with that person for a long time. You created another human being with that person. Forever is a long time. A long time. Right? When we're in high school, when we're young, right, it's the forever and always and forever. Me and you for the rest of our lives. That is a huge ask. There's nothing wrong with believing that. And some people are able to accomplish that. But for the ones who didn't, I appreciate the follow. Thank you. I'll follow you after this, Rivers Mommy. For the ones who weren't, does that mean you failed? Sometimes things happen, right? Life happens. But that doesn't mean that you can't still have a great relationship with that person that you created a life with. Both of you need to put in the effort to make sure that you still give that human being that you created an amazing life, with or without being together. but me still cautious. Fast lovely, but kinda restless. But the way you move got me breathless. Feel like this. 100%. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, right? Nicole Marie says, no, it means that we can't predict the future, and sometimes people grow apart. That's a fact. But because you were comfortable, 100%, absolutely. Yes, right? You're adults, right? You were comfortable with each other for years. You stuck it out for as long as you could. It started out with love. It started out with attraction. It turned into something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right? But when you get comfortable, you don't want to leave that situation. Most people don't. Most people stay stuck in a situation because they're comfortable. And typically it turns out worse than it would have if they would have just separated. So Silas, what excuse have you repeated so many times that you've mistaken it for reality? Under the moonlight, just you and me. Let the rhythm flow like the Caribbean sea. 100%. Right, and I'm gonna, right, and if I'm being completely honest, right, sometimes that's what that looks like, right? And I'm gonna repeat what it is that I'm responding to right now, right? So Mike says, I haven't talked to my baby mother in over 10 years. And that's okay. I appreciate the lightning. Thank you, Peaches. Right? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? So at the end of the day, sometimes that's what being cordial and civil looks like. Understanding that sometimes you guys may not see eye to eye, and sometimes maybe you guys don't really get along all that well, right? So maybe you two not speaking to each other. I mean, depends on the situation, right? If you're in front of your children, then obviously, right, we're adults, right? But you two not speaking may be what's best for your little ones, right? And I'm saying little ones, but they could be adults, right? Whatever the case may be. But and sometimes that happens, right? But progression, absolutely. Protect your peace at all costs, right? And if you're comfortable, you won't protect your peace. I can promise you that. If you are comfortable, your peace is already at risk, right? So sometimes we need to sometimes, right? We need to gotcha. Okay. So, but that's what I'm saying, right? We can't change who people are as a person, right? We can only change what we do, right? Nicole Marie, when she was co-hosting with me yesterday, made a good point, right? Which is you can bring a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink, right? You can't force people to become good people. It just doesn't work that way. You can do your part to try and help them along the way, but you can't force them to be a good person, right? If someone is innately just not a good person, whatever that may look like, then put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and take that person out of your life. That causes progression, that causes growth. Absolutely. Amen, Mike. So, right, Silas had said something that I want to touch on, right? Which is that we have a tendency. Thank you for your daily harmony. I appreciate that, MJ. Welcome in. Silas had touched on something that I want to go back to, right? Which is sometimes we get so scared and our fear takes over and takes a hold of us that we return back to comfortability. We make a whole U-turn and go back to comfortability. And whether it was small, whether it was large, whatever strides we just made, whatever progression was there, whatever growth just happened, is now all gone. Now that's all gone. So now if you decide you want to do it again, now you got to start over. Why? So I'm going to repeat the last part. The chains aren't always made of fear. Sometimes they're made of comfort. I'm going to give you guys a quick story time. Okay. Imagine two people waking up on a Monday morning. The first person hates their job. They dread the drive to work. They count the hours until they can leave. Every day feels exactly the same. But they stay because it's comfortable. It's predictable. It's safe. The second person is terrified. They're chasing a dream, starting a business, learning a new skill, or rebuilding their life. Nothing feels certain. Some days they question everything. But every single day, they're growing. Now, fast forward 10 years. Who do you think will regret their choices more? The person who risked failure while chasing something meaningful? Or the person who stayed in the same place because it was comfortable? The saddest part isn't failing. The saddest part is realizing that your potential expired because you were too comfortable to discover it. People stay in jobs they hate because uncertainty scares them. People stay in relationships that drain them because loneliness scares them. People repeat routines that make them miserable because change scares them. The familiar cage often feels safer than the unknown freedom waiting outside. Please do. That is an incredible example. We are stronger than we believe we are. But because we have gotten so comfortable with what our life has become, it shrinks that strength. It stunts that growth. Continue to be strong. Absolutely, Brandon. I couldn't agree more. That was a great analogy. So this is the humor break, okay? Let's be honest. Some people treat comfort like it's a full-time job. Their morning routine looks something like this. Wake up, hit snooze 3 times, promise themselves they'll start next week, watch 3 motivational videos, okay, we eat some snacks, take a nap because they worked hard watching those motivational videos. Then they wonder why nothing's changing. Imagine going to the gym, staring at the weights for an hour, taking a selfie, and expecting muscle to magically appear. That's how a lot of people treat their dreams. They want the reward without the resistance. Unfortunately, greatness doesn't offer home delivery. I'm going to repeat that for all of the people that order from Amazon, for all the people that order from Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash. Unfortunately, greatness doesn't offer home delivery. 100%, Mike. Everybody wants the easy and quick way. You need to go out and get it. I appreciate that. Thank you for the daily heart me. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So which piggybacks off of what me and Nicole Marie were saying yesterday. It begins with the first step. It begins with the first step. If you are comfortable, you are not going to take that first step. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you tell me. If you are comfortable, you're not going to take that first step. Right? The pace doesn't matter. And I'm going to explain why I just said that. Pete just said one step leads to the next step, even if it's slow or fast. The pace doesn't matter. Some people will get there faster. Some people will get there slower. But as long as you both chose to take that first step, you're both getting to the finish line. Remember that. You're both getting to the finish line. And it's not a race. Here is the controversial question. I appreciate that, Mandy. Thank you so much. I'll be there later. I appreciate you. Thank you so much again. Here is the controversial question. Right? The controversial question is, convenience the greatest obstacle to greatness? Think about that. Have we become so obsessed with making life easier that we've forgotten that struggle is what creates strength? Have we mistaken comfort for happiness? Has convenience made us weaker, less patient, and less willing to fight for the things that matter? A 100%. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Mandy. Thank you for the roses. Maybe the things worth having aren't supposed to be easy. Maybe difficulty isn't punishment. Maybe difficulty is proof that you're growing. So I want to know everyone's position on, have we become so obsessed with making life easier that we've forgotten that struggle is what creates strength? I appreciate that, Mandy. Thank you so much. I'll see you around. %. Everyone should be dropping yeses right now, because becoming obsessed with making your life easier weakens you. It causes you to forget that struggle is what creates strength. We are all here today because of the struggles that our ancestors went through. Every single one of us. I'm not talking about me because I'm a man of color. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about every single human being on this planet. Okay? We have gotten to where we are today because of the fight in our ancestors. The struggles that they went through made them strong and created the luxury that is our life. Yes, we all go through things today. Yes, sometimes life can be hard. Sometimes there's struggle. But our life is a cakewalk compared to what people went through. Even the stars call you. 100%. Yes, right? That mindset, that mentality, okay, that we have a threshold, right? Our brains are the ones that tell us about pain, right? If we, right, and again, I'm not a medical specialist, so this is not a recommendation for anybody to go do this, okay? But I'm using it as an example, all right? If we told a doctor to go and take out that part of the brain that feels pain, the amount of crap that we could have done to our body would be insane. It would be unfathomable. Right? So at the end of the day, we are capable of more than you guys think, and we are capable of putting up with more than you guys believe. It does not mean that struggle doesn't suck. It does not mean that when you're comfortable and it hurts and it's stunting that growth and it's preventing you from moving forward, it does not mean that that doesn't suck. It does. But once you start believing that you deserve it, once you start believing that you deserve more, right? Once you start believing that you are worth fighting for? Right? How can you fight for your family if you haven't fought for yourself first? The same is said about love. How can you truly love someone else if you haven't learned to love yourself first? We have to learn to love ourselves first, right? We have to build that self-love first before we can truly love someone else. The same thing goes with growth. Growth is for you before it can be for your family. Growth is for you before it can be for your loved ones. Growth is for you before it can be for the people you want to be proud of you. Be proud of yourself. Do it for yourself. They can be your reasons. They can be your whys. But you do it for yourself. This is a personal goal. If you're comfortable, you're not going to reach those personal goals. Which again, that piggybacks off of what me and Nicole Marie were saying yesterday, right? When we used the example of the gym, right? When we go to the gym, right? Yes, it's nice for somebody to be like, man, you've lost a bunch of weight. You look amazing. Yeah, that's a nice feeling. 100% no. If you're going to do anything, it has to be for you first. Sometimes taking a step back and taking a minute for yourself. 100% Peaches, right? When you're going to the gym, yes, it's nice to get those compliments, but you're doing it because you want to look in the mirror and you want to be like, damn, that person's sexy, right? And I apologize for the language, right? But at the end of the day, it's the truth, right? That's why you're doing it, right? You want to be able to look in the mirror and you want to be able to be happy with what you see every day. Compliments are amazing. They're incredible, but it's for you, right? You want to be able to look in the mirror and you want to know that you're healthy, right? You want to know that you're going to be able to live a long life. You want to know that you've done something for you, not for someone else. Because those don't last. When you do something for someone else, that doesn't last. When it's for you, it's everlasting. So when you go to the gym, right, waking up is the most difficult part. The workout is hard, but it's not the most difficult part. Waking up and getting there is the hard part. Once you're there, that's what you're there for. That's the goal. But you're comfortable in your bed, right? The first thing running through your mind isn't, man, I really want to go to the gym. That's not the first thing running through your mind. The first thing running through your mind is, man, this bed is comfy right now. I really don't want to go to that gym. I know I have to, but I really don't want to. But when you finish that workout, when you are done, you feel incredible. You feel amazing. The same thing happens when you step out of your comfort zone. When you step out of your comfort zone and you finally reach that goal, or you finally finish that book, you finally take that first step, that finish line is going to feel so good. Yeah, absolutely. Falling in your soul from a safe distance. You pull me close with no permission, and I don't even want resistance. Love without control is taking over me, like the tide that never lets the ocean be free. Boy, I surrender willingly. I can't hold back my heart anymore. Late nights, your voice in my head, sweet thoughts in the words you said. Even silence feels like love instead. When you're not here, but you're still in my bed, I walk through the world halfway. Every step I take for your name's sake, even distance starts to break. When love this deep begins to wake, and I know it's risky, I know it's wild, but I feel like a love strong child. Every moment when you come by, now my heart's on fire and under fire. Baby, I try, but I can't deny you're the reason my defenses die. Even when I say goodbye, I still reach for you inside. Love without control. I like that. Those words are never going to be more truer than today. Okay. At the end of the day, it is up to you guys. Okay. It is up to the people who watch these episodes on my YT. Okay. To take them and use them each and every day. I can give you all the words you want. I can give you all the motivation, the inspiration. I can sit here and I can hold your hand. But I cannot take the first step for you. Just doesn't work that way. That has to be done by you. So we have the Truth Challenge. And everybody knows that I love these. Okay. So we have the Truth Challenge. All right. So the Truth Challenge is today I want you to choose one thing that makes you uncomfortable and do it anyways. Okay. Have that difficult conversation. Apply for that job. Start the project. Go to the gym. Wake up earlier. Take the first step you've been avoiding. Write down one area of your life where comfort has become a prison. Then ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped choosing convenience and started choosing growth? Sit with that question. It might change your life. What would happen if I stopped choosing convenience and I started choosing growth? Again, sit with that question. It might change your life. Okay, that is the Truth Challenge for everyone. Okay. So I want for whoever is in the chat right now to give me one thing that you plan on stopping because it felt comfortable and starting what you planned, what you believed wasn't possible. So what is something? 100%. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So what is the first step on something you are going to take today? Going back to school. Nikki, is that yours? Going to bed earlier? Walking away from those that I know mean no good. Amen. 100%. Prioritizing sleep. I like that. Drinking more water. I like that. Remember, every episode is going to have a truth challenge. Okay? And I am going to hold you guys accountable. Right? That is my job. These aren't just podcast episodes for the sake of entertainment, for the sake of monetization, for the sake of viewership. That's not what they're for. I told you guys, my goals are bigger than TikTok. So at the end of the day, I will help you guys hold yourselves accountable. Right? So every episode, what? That's too funny. Yeah, 100%. Go ahead. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. If you guys know someone, right? And I've told people this, the people that I have told what I do for a living, right? With my life coaching, okay? If you know somebody, right? Follow me on my IG, okay? It is JR_Jacino, okay? That is my IG. I use it for business. Yeah. It is JR_Jacino. That is my IG, okay? I use that for business, okay? People DM me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Angel. I use it for business, okay? I am a life coach, right? If you know anyone who needs my services, I don't do it for the money. I do it for what it can help somebody achieve. I do it to help people grow, okay? So at the end of the day, right? Same thing with my podcast. They serve the same purpose. Okay, I am on here to help people better themselves if I am able to. If my words can help them grow, then goal accomplished. Okay? I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay? My goal is to help as many people as I possibly can. I know I can't help the whole world, but that is my goal, is to help as many people as I possibly can. And to impact as many lives as I possibly can. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the hat and mustache. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so at the end of the day, that is my goal. And that is what I am working and striving towards. Okay. Today's call to action, because you guys know I end everything with a call to action. Comfort isn't always peace. Sometimes it's just fear wearing a softer mask. Your potential is waiting on the other side of inconvenience, uncertainty, and discomfort. The question is whether you're willing to pay the price of admission. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, I end everything with 2 sayings, which are: remember to be purposely powerful, and only you can break the chains that bind you. If anyone does not know what I mean by those two sayings, let me know and I will happily explain. Okay? Because both sayings have severe meaning to me. Okay? Deep meaning to me. Right? I chose my name for a specific reason. Okay? This wasn't just something I put in an AI generator and hoped for the best I could possibly get. All right? My name, okay, is because the invisible chains that we wear every day are very real. And the harsh truths are the ones that we don't want to acknowledge. So I put both of those names together to break those invisible chains that bind us and to accept those uncomfortable truths with open arms. To be purposely powerful means that when you've reached a point in your life, when you whether it's real power or it's metaphorical power, use that power for purpose. Don't gain power just to be powerful. Use your power to help others. Use your power to impact someone else's life. That's what it means to be purposely powerful. Is there anything that you would like to say, closing it out, Silas? I appreciate that. Thank you. Mike actually said something very similar, and I really appreciate that. Right there is. I want to say there is a lot of motivation on this app, right? But I do believe that a lot of it tends to serve no purpose, right? It's someone putting motivation out there that doesn't achieve anything, and I don't like that. I want to make sure that when I put my motivation out there, I appreciate that, Heart Me Leslie. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. I want to make sure that what I'm putting out there impacts someone's life, right? It doesn't just sit there and resonate with them and go, wow, that makes sense. No, I want them to sit there and go, you know what? I'm doing that tomorrow. So again, thank you for everyone who came in. I know there's a lot of people who are no longer here, but came and supported us for most of the live. I appreciate every single one of you guys. It means the world to me. Okay. Without your support, without you guys coming in and showing love, I would not be able to do this. All right. To everyone who comes and co-hosts with me, I appreciate you guys thoroughly. For my mods, you mean the world to me. Thank you so much for keeping track of everything while I do what I do. Okay. Again, you guys really have no idea. All right. I am genuinely grateful for every single one of you guys. All right. It means the world to me. Okay. And I truly appreciate you guys for coming. Without you, I'd be talking to myself. I said this same thing with Nicole Marine here yesterday. Okay. Without you guys here, I would just be sitting here talking to myself. I would be some guy on the internet talking to himself and enjoying his own company. So at the end of the day, I truly appreciate you guys, and it makes it worthwhile. All right. So again, I appreciate you guys tuning into the Unchained Truth. Please, everyone, make sure you show love, okay, to my wonderful co-host Silas. All right. It means the world to me. I mean, again, like I said, nothing happens without a reason, right? This is the first 2 episodes, and I have had the perfect co-host for both episodes. So I am truly grateful for that. All right. I want everyone to have a blessed day. All right. And take that first step tomorrow. All right. And I will catch you guys in the next one. All right. Third time is the charm. I appreciate you, Silas. Thank you again. Of course. Absolutely. Anytime. All right, everyone. I'll catch y'all later.